On February 28, 2026, the world woke up to one of the most dramatic moments in recent geopolitical history. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, was confirmed dead. After more than 3.5 decades in power, the man who stood at the pinnacle of the Iranian political system, shaping decisions from Tehran to Beirut, was reported killed in a joint military operation carried out by the United States and Israel. The news was initially met with shock, confusion, and a flood of headlines across global media, and later confirmed by Iranian state television, which announced a 40-day period of national mourning for the fallen leader. For many outside Iran, the significance of this moment is hard to overstate. Khamenei was not just a political leader, he was the architect of Iran's revolution-era power structure, the face of its ideological resistance to Western influence, and the central figure in Tehran's foreign policy for generations. His death did not happen quietly nor in isolation. It came amid one of the most intense military escalations the Middle East has seen in years, and it has already triggered military action, political recalibration, and deep uncertainty about what comes next. Inside Iran, the response has been a mix of ritual, defiance, and careful political positioning. State media and officials described Khamenei's death in terms of martyrdom, framing the loss as a blow inflicted by foreign powers, namely the United States and Israel, and calling on Iranians to remain steadfast. Already, officials have begun large-scale mourning ceremonies, and 3-day farewell rites for the late leader have begun in Tehran. These ceremonies, which are expected to last several days, are designed both to honor the dead and to help the regime demonstrate unity and continuity in the face of profound disruption. But beyond the public rituals, Iran faces an urgent and complex political transition. The Constitution of the Islamic Republic, a system that fuses religious authority with state power, provides a roadmap for succession, but one that is not simple and rests on the decisions of a powerful, secretive clerical body known as the Assembly of Experts. This assembly, composed of senior clerics, is responsible for selecting the next supreme leader. Traditionally, that process has been cloaked in secrecy and consensus. But with Khamenei's sudden death and the country in the midst of a conflict, the process has already been disrupted and intensified. In the immediate aftermath, Iran formed a 3-member interim leadership council to run the country while the Assembly of Experts prepares to select a permanent successor. This council includes senior figures from the state's political and religious establishment, including the president, the head of the judiciary, and a high-ranking cleric. Their role for now is to keep the state functioning, maintain security, and manage the ongoing conflict with external forces. Who will become the next supreme leader remains unsettled. But several possibilities have already emerged. Some reports suggest that Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the late leader, is being seen by powerful factions as a front-runner to inherit the mantle of authority. If true, this would mark a highly unusual moment in Iranian history, where the position passes within a family rather than strictly through collective clerical endorsement. And it could signal the growing influence of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, in political decision-making. Yet the Assembly of Experts has not formally announced a successor, and there are reports that its final decision may be postponed or delayed due to heightened security concerns. Meetings have shifted to remote formats as members shelter from potential threats, and discussions are ongoing in secure environments. Some clerics have said the process will be swift and will produce a leader with similar views to Khamenei, while other insiders suggest broader deliberation as various factions voice their preferences. The path to leadership is critical because it could determine the future direction of the Iranian state. A quick side note, if you like what we're doing and would like to see more videos like this, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe our channel. Now, back to the video. A successor closely aligned with the old regime's hardline ideology would likely continue Tehran's assertive stance in foreign affairs, maintaining deep support for groups such as Hezbollah, militia alliances in Syria and Iraq, and its opposition to Western influence. Conversely, a figure perceived as more cautious or pragmatic might open narrow diplomatic channels, though deep distrust and entrenched institutional interests make major shifts in direction unlikely in the near term. Meanwhile, the conflict itself has not subsided. In the wake of Khamenei's death, Iran has launched missile strikes and other retaliatory attacks against Israeli and American forces, escalating a military confrontation that has already reshaped strategic calculations across the Middle East. Reports of continued strikes and counterstrikes show that this is not merely a political moment. It is a military flashpoint with real human consequences and regional implications. International reactions to Khamenei's death have been varied and politically charged. Western leaders have spoken about the moment as a defining point for relations with Tehran, with some suggesting opportunities for change and others warning that the next leader may be as bad as the previous. Regional governments are scrambling to balance security interests with diplomatic positioning, and global markets are responding to fears about instability in one of the world's key energy corridors. But while the death of a long-standing leader is dramatic, it's important to understand that it does not mean the end of the system itself. Experts warn that the structures Khamenei helped build, politically, institutionally, and militarily, remain intact. Even without him, Iran's government has layers of bureaucracy, security forces, and ideological currents that will continue to shape its future. Some analysts caution that a leadership change could lead to instability, internal struggle, or even broader turmoil before any lasting transformation occurs. At the same time, this is a moment where history may diverge into multiple paths. If a successor consolidates power quickly and asserts control over the regime's key institutions, then the change may appear smooth externally even as underlying tensions persist. If factions within the state leadership compete for influence, or if public dissent intensifies, then Iran could experience a period of deep domestic uncertainty. It's also possible that outside forces, whether regional neighbors, global powers, or international organizations, play a role in shaping the next chapter, whether that means negotiation, deterrence, or continued confrontation. For Iranians themselves, this moment is deeply personal and emotional. Some mourn the loss of a leader who represented continuity. Others see his death as a moment of potential renewal or change. How people respond in the streets, on social media, and in quiet conversations will also help define what comes next. In a society as diverse and complex as Iran, public sentiment is not monolithic, and political change often intersects with generational aspirations, economic pressures, and social identity. As the world watches, it's clear that the death of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is not a simple headline. It is the start of a historic transition. What follows will be shaped by religious authority and political calculation, by international diplomacy and military confrontation, and by the hopes and fears of millions of Iranians and people beyond their borders. This is not just the end of one leader's life. It is the beginning of a new chapter in one of the most consequential nations on the global stage. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe our channel.